How are we doing with chat? Boom. What's happened to my camera? Why is the camera small? Why is camera small? Okay, wait, I'm going on a edition. Why camera small? Camera shouldn't be small. Camera shouldn't be small. Camera fixed. Camera fixed. Camera fixed. Ooh, we're gonna be alright. It's been a while. Been a while, chat. How are you doing? I have a question. No, chat is not allowed to join Wise. Thank you for showing up though. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. What are your thoughts on unprofessional streamers? Well, honestly, what are you even doing if you're not professional? You know, if you're not doing all the work you can and using every like inch of your body to work for your stream, then you know you're not worth it, and you don't deserve to be on the stream. Because clearly that is the problem. With streamers these days, they don't put in enough. You need to be using your. What are you saying? That's not related to what I was saying. Was I was doing a joke. I was waiting for you to reply. That's not a good reply. You're banned. You're banned. Anyway, hello. I'm wearing the t-shirt Champ got. I'm ready to do. I'm not joking, babe. I'll deck you outside Mackey's, babe. Why don't you ask me if it farts? Can I? Can I? I can. Is Wise? Did that unban? Did that unmod Wise? What the fuck, JP? Don't ban Chef. What the fuck? Everything's going. Oh my god. Can't believe it. The tyranny. The tyranny of J Fusion has finally happened. What the shit? Oh my god, look at that. Look at that. Chef swore for that. Can't believe that. Anyway. I'm pretty sure wheat is wheat. I'm already late. It's already 20 minutes past. Arnhold and Chef, yeah. Can't believe it. I don't wanna hear it. You're better than that. Better than that. Have you never been banned before, Chef? Can't believe that. What is Wheat doing? Moving his. I'll show you what he's doing, actually.
Hello?
Oh, there's an ad. Don't worry about the ad, chat. Hello. I'm getting an ad on your channel. Like.
Perfect. Unbelievable. I would never. Sorry, I'm just sorting out one of my lines anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah, I was gonna show it to chat because I saw it slowly moving over.
Yep. It's nearly there. Nearly there. Very nearly there. Ta-da!
Ta-da! Finally.
We did it.
How are you
Anyway,
doing?
I have a lot of things. Whoops, I need that full screen. I have a lot of things to put on screen because, yeah. In addition to everything else, Arsenal are playing football this evening.
For
So,
fuck's sake. Fuck's sake. You're not allowed to watch football. That's
well, I am.
illegal.
Well, I am. I just need
Anyway,
to
I'm
make sure
late
I.
because I was watching Taskmaster Steph.
I see. That would be why Clara said we'll do this at 7 before she left the Dread Hunger game. Then, I guess that would make sense, if anything.
Clara was
Uh,
Clara?
Clara was planning some. Yeah, briefly, she played one. Oh yeah, I just need Google, don't I? Sorry, get my searching ready to go. Everything's set up. We still got our nice.
Arsehole are playing football or what?
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, exactly.
Classic arsehole.
Yeah. Yep. Let me just quickly actually
Like
watch
a
the latest
shitload of
goal
things.
back.
There's a lot now. There are a lot of things. His name is Arnhall. God, do you think Arnhall's good at football?
No.
I think he could be. I think he might be one of
Ooh.
those hidden pro football.
They don't exist.
No?
No,
How come?
they don't.
He got a bit of the Welshie going on. What's that mean? Oh, I see. You're right. Yeah, wait. You can't call Arnhall an ass. You're rude.
That is definitely what I said.
Unbelievable.
I mean, their equalizer's a foul, isn't it? Surely.
Oh, shut up. We're isn't it? I can already tell it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be we not not wanting to explain anything, not doing any of it. Me just
Okay, don't worry, I'm all caught up now. Don't worry, I won't need to check anything like that ever again because now anything that happens in the game I'll have seen live.
Wait, what's a sine wave? What is a sine?
Just like that, doesn't it? It's just a wave, you fuck, and it starts at 1 of 0 or 1 and goes to the opposite, and it goes up and down and shit. Can't remember which one it is. Does sine start at 0? I think sine starts at 0. I think
sine's this one.
Yeah.
We make a calculator in Minecraft. Wait, that's the actual question.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Sine is essentially a function which varies between 0 and 1, depending on the number of degrees put in it.
Well, it doesn't have to be degrees. Just depending on what.
Yeah, but we gotta make it simple for the simple folk.
You can use radians.
Sure.
Radials? Called in English?
Radians.
Right, Pog.
Yeah.
Right, I've added a whole bunch of questions.
Oh boy.
While I was watching Taskmaster.
While I was watching football.
Yeah.
Joke's on you, I still am.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, let's vibe.
Let's vibe. Let's do stuff. I was thinking before we do begin.
Thinking?
Yeah.
That's not what we do here.
No, but no, because it's sort of separate. I was thinking, with all the planning going on in collabs right now for Gobs and Grems, I was thinking it might be time for the second inaugural Uncertainly Accurate Rocket League tournament brought to you by Yummers.
Oh god, then I'd need to. I'm already doing something else with a bunch of people that I need to plan with.
I can organize this one if you want.
Yeah, you can if you want to organize it. That's good. Good.
Yeah.
I forgot it did that. That's a good command. Yeah, follow Wise. Wise has not. I don't know what Wise has to do with Yummers though.
No.
Yeah. Give me a week, and then I'll have the other thing like sorted out, and then I think we can
Oh
also
yeah,
have a
I'd
look.
I'd say like sometime in the future. I was
Yeah,
thinking mid-May.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but anyway, I'll
Okay,
I'll start.
okay,
I'll gauge some interest, shall I?
yeah. Okay. Because we have big plans for the other thing.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I say that there's just a lot to work out with how it's gonna. The other thing
Mm.
is secret for now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'll probably talk about it. Right. Shall we do a spinach?
Let's do a spinach.
Figure out which one. Right. I just realized all this time it had sound, but my browser source is usually muted, so no one can hear it. No one's ever told me. No one's ever fucking told me.
Well, I've always had it not
Well, yeah,
playing
you can
sound.
never hear it because you're like obvious.
Yeah.
Damn it. Nutrients. Old one. What? Oh god, it's a long one. A long one.
Of course it is. It's a
Topic.
chef question.
Always are.
They always are.
Nutrients for the next 5 questions. Okay. How's the human body process its nutrients? Oh no, something did change in the image. We'll have to see after this question. Are macronutrients absorbed in the same way as micronutrients? Does it know where to send all the different micronutrients we need? Wait,
What?
fuck are macro and micronutrients? I don't know anything about
Look,
nutrients.
keep reading the question. I'm googling it. Okay.
How does it keep from taking in too much of one micronutrient? How does it know how much too much is? How would the body know how to tell different vitamins apart from each other? Are there any upsides or downsides to taking your micronutrients in supplement form rather than through your diet? If vitamin D is obtained through sunlight, are there any other micronutrients that are obtained via methods other than eating? Of all the micronutrients, which ones are the most dangerous to be deficient in? Are there any cases of people being allergic to vital nutrients? If this were to happen, could you find a different chemical that's also safe to consume and will serve the same purpose as said nutrient? Try to give it a open in there. Now's the time when you say you know what's happening.
You see, this is unfortunately another one of those where it goes into details that require scholarly articles to find the information for, which are always a pain. Like, we can go through the digestive system quite easily. That you can get through in like various articles that
We can.
require
I mean,
things.
we can't go. Well, we can, but
However, the only thing I can find for um, digestion absorption of major nutrients is from actual articles. It seems like, and by actual articles I mean actual papers, and it seems like nobody's bothered to write it up in a simple way for us plebs. And the only reason I can presume no one's bothered to do that is because it's incredibly boring. So let's have a look, shall we? uh,
so first of all,
how does the body
macronutrients are
process
the
its nutrients?
nutrients
Is
that
the
your body
question.
needs in large amounts, include fat, carbohydrates, and protein.
Hmm.
So it's
Well, the
important
first
things.
part of the scholarly article I have talks about carbohydrates. Let me get this on my screen. I should still have the thing set up to just do it. But I've been wrong before.
And micronutrients.
That one?
Vitamins and minerals needed by the body in very small amounts. However, their impact on a body's health are critical, and deficiency any of them can cause severe and life-threatening conditions.
Hang
So
on.
yeah, like the macronutrients are the ones that you need a bunch of. Micronutrients are the ones that you don't need a lot of. It's not like your body divides them in those two, probably, because like they're different. Protein and fat, they're different. But it just kind of it all goes into your bloodstream and shit like that, and it will be like as
That's not
it's
what I said, Chef. Thank you very much. I said the world thinks your questions are boring.
as it's like broken down, it will be like broken down into the specific parts in through the digestive system, and that specific part's taken out and stuff, and it will be carried by like whatever that binds to it. I'm assuming I don't really know about this, but like it's just it doesn't know. It just kind
Yeah,
of
the answer is that there's various
it
things
can
in
only
your
like go
digestive
into
system
certain
that
functions.
digest all the various things that you need to take in, and by having these things, your body can digest all of them. Well, all the ones that you need, anyway. That's essentially it. The digestive system in general is what we all know. It goes in your mouth, goes through everything, goes through your esophagus to your stomach. Your pancreas does some work on stuff, goes through your intestines, blah 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 blah. However, the details of how everything actually gets digested is only to be read in this extremely lengthy article, which we
Only
can
place
go
where you can
through.
find it.
Yeah. Well, this actually goes into details about things. For instance, it has a section on the digestion and absorption of carbohydrates, which I think is what Chef is getting at here.
That's basically the first.
Yeah, and probably a lot all of the rest of it, as in where it goes, how it gets treated differently,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So, like, this one goes into a lot of long words. It has a lot of percentages of how much you could take, and then it already goes into a sentence I don't understand by saying the major oligosaccharides consumed are the disaccharides, sucrose, and lactose. So those are words I recognize. The words before that aren't. Which comprise roughly 30 to 40% of dietary carbohydrates. Starch includes amylose and amylopectin and is a plant storage polysaccharide of a lot of things. And I don't even know what these things are. KDA? Is that like how much killer digestion absorption?
What's that? I don't know. Well, it's not kills death
and then it gives
cysts, I
like
assume.
Chemical structures for various carbohydrates.
Or the Riot Pop group.
So now we get things like this. Inside the small intestine, pancreatic juice enters the lumen through the hepatopancreatic sphincter, and its high bicarbonate concentration begins to neutralize gastric acid.
The molecular masses of proteins, nucleic acid, and other large polymers are often expressed with the units kilodalton. And it is
Yeah, so this gets incredibly complicated, but from what I can take from this section, carbohydrates are digested in the small intestine with the help of the pancreas. If we then go on to the next section, which is proteins, consumed proteins begin to be broken down in the stomach under the action of the protease pepsin. So there you go, stomach for proteins, small intestine for carbohydrates. If we move on to something else, there's also amino acids, which could be dealing with things differently as well. But we'll move on to the headings of these. Lipids.
fucking lipid, mate. The hepatitis or whatever. True. Basically, everything
colon.
is just
I doubt
like
it's in the
your
colon.
Yeah,
it goes through various sections, which
digestive.
gradually take out all the important bits. The order of them, I don't know, but like they all have different purposes. So stomach, small intestine, large intestine, colon apparently from what I'm getting here, but I doubt that's really doing anything. I don't really know what colon does. Although Wise is probably an expert on that matter. And then you've got a whole bunch of other stuff that could do
that
stuff.
seems homophobic.
That is factual. Thank you very much.
Yes, can you confirm or deny?
So yeah, essentially you have a whole digestive process, and all of it's do different bits, which is why there's so much of it. Anyway, I think that's a good enough summary for that. Like, I'll put the link to this article in it if you want to read all the incredibly scientific detail in it. However, I don't think that that's what you're after. But in general, the entire digestive process does digestive processing.
I love the smell of his man's colon.
How does it know where to send all the different macronutrients we need? Because if it didn't, we'd be dead. Like, that's just evolution, essentially.
Yeah, it just kind of does.
It just does, just like you have an eye or two.
Yeah.
If you didn't, you'd have trouble living. Therefore, you do. How would the body know how to tell different vitamins apart from each other? Because they are chemically different and break down differently. I don't think your body goes into it thinking, that's a carbohydrate, that's a protein. We've given them those names ourselves, obviously. It just knows that these are various chemicals that it needs to help it function. And they are all broken down separately. For instance, because there are various different types of protein, carbohydrates, and all of that stuff. They are just chemically similar enough that they're broken down in the same way. I think that's and therefore they also have similar functions. I think that's more how what is determined. So the body doesn't really care. Like, if there was a carbohydrate that broke down in the same way as a protein and still functioned as a carbohydrate, then it would be digested in the same way, only it would then be treated on different later in the process. But those don't happen because the chemical structure for how it's broke down is important to chemically what it does in your body. So you can't split them out that way. They just do what they do, and based on what they do, they're broken down in different ways.
You know what it's called when my sibling is...
I don't want to know.
Carbohydrate.
Nice.
Anyway, I'm kind of done with the question already. I don't even want to go on with it.
Well, we can move on to vitamins, because that's slightly different, I think. We've been through like the macrobiology, I think. Now we're on to the other stuff, the bits that you need that are useful. What is a vitamin?
What are frogs?
A vitamin is an organic molecule or set of molecules closely related, i.e. to them, that is an essential micronutrient, which an organism needs in small quantities. Okay. Essential nutrients cannot be synthesized in the organism, either at all or not in sufficient quantities, and therefore must be obtained through the diet. This term vitamin does not include the three other groups of essential nutrients, which are minerals, essential fatty acids, and essential amino acids. Most vitamins, but why not? Why are they different?
Are they? The thing is, Chef, your long questions are always loaded questions. You know? You're always like... I always feel like you already know all of this, and you're like just quizzing us. And like, if it's not related to anything we know, it's just like, we're looking things up today. You know? I mean, like, and we're not going to be reading full scholarly articles. That's not super.
No. Like I said, I skimmed that and ignored all the long words.
I think the interesting things to look at might be like uh
I'm trying to find what the difference is between essential nutrients and vitamins. Like,
where is it? It was in here. Are there any cases of people being allergic? I just allergic to vital nutrients. I want to know about that. That's interesting. Yeah? Um.
I expect so, but probably not. Like, I doubt, because there's so many different types of them. Like, if you're allergic to one, you just get a different one.
Yeah, but like, is there anything specific you need?
Well, I've never heard of a vitamin C allergy. Like,
yeah, I think allergies are like.
oh, mineral-wise though, maybe. Like, could you be allergic to a mineral? Like, could you go up to someone and say, "Hey, I'm allergic to manganese"?
Yeah, why is it saying that? Certain people are allergic to certain types of IV iron. Yeah, I think generally, I don't know. I feel like it's not in mark unless like specific ones that you can survive if it's like something that is, I don't know. It's like not a. It's one that can be like one or the other, and then you just. But I don't know. I feel like because we talk about allergies, and I still don't really remember. I still don't really know exactly what. But I feel like you can't like. Oh. Um.
Oh, so IV iron is when you inject someone with extra iron. It's not necessary. It's not like it's not like an allergy to iron. It's an allergy to whatever they use to give you an injection of iron.
Oh, so it's
Um,
not actually being allergic to the iron. It's probably being allergic to whatever it's
yeah, whatever
like.
is used to
Whatever
make it in the
solution.
state that you can do something with it.
I do have a filter on. Maybe it's because my mic is a bit further than usual.
Could be.
I don't know. I've had it for a while. That's not been a problem before. Can it? Maybe it's just because I'm looking over there more, and I'm that way. I'm like, who knows? Who knows?
Oh, and yeah, there's a whole bunch of like, and vitamin allergy isn't a thing because there's so many different things that can make it up. Like, I'm just seeing a list of all the different things that can go into it. Interestingly, some of them remind me of the people here because the names that they've got, like there's one here that's called all trans beta carotene, and there's 2 words in here that I'd use to describe all of
The
you.
fuck? You can't just call me a carotene. That's very rude.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. You can't just say that to people. Very rude.
All trans retinol esters. There's so many things here.
No, Jay, you're at least 2 of those things. At least.
Vitamins have diverse biochemical functions. They do a whole bunch of shit, and they are
Rectum retinol. That sounds like a way to get pink eye.
Sounds about right. And yeah, all this stuff is dealt with in its own special way. Hang on, I'm just going to move my monitor a bit so I can sort my camera out a little bit more. That's probably fine. I should watch it on my own stream to see how it changes rather than yours.
I want your carrot.
Okay, that's fine. Bam. So yeah, I mean, the short answer is vitamins are going to be digested in the same way as everything else is, and it will just fit into somewhere in the chain.
Yeah.
And the body knows the difference because it just knows it needs them. And they're chemically different, and therefore they interact differently with the different processes used to digest them, and therefore they are treated differently, regardless of how much knowledge the body has about it or not. Much like prejudice, your body is prejudiced. Just look at it that way.
Much like Predator.
Exactly.
That's why I'm here, to
Any
make those
upsides or downsides
funny,
to
quippy
taking them
jokes.
as supplements rather than through your diet? I'm going to say no, because supplements are a thing that's used medically.
Only halfway.
Well, we can rush through that. Like, hang on. Supplements.
I assume there are just generally like upsides and downsides taking them as supplements because it's more like if it's like pure. But like, yeah, it depends on the dose. Like if it's a high dose or something, that might be problematic, and also like it depends how you're taking it. Because like I don't know where in the digestive system it's supposed to take those up, but if you like if it's a pill, sometimes it will just like dissolve in your stomach, and most of the like most of it will just not be absorbed by your body before it's done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like from what I can tell, there's no harm in doing it. Like the second part of the NHS article on it says children aged 6 months to 5 years should take vitamin supplements containing vitamins A, C, and D every day. So like maybe it's
Always.
just part of the big conspiracy to drug us all, but they're recommending that you should give your children
Ooh.
vitamin supplements for 4.5 years of their life. So yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Essentially,
Also,
vitamin D supplements are recommended because like they say, yeah, you might not get enough sun in the winter, so why not? Like it doesn't say any harm about it. The only thing it says at the beginning is that taking too much or taking them for too long could be harmful. But talk to your doctor about it. We're not medical professionals. If you need supplements, talk to your doctor. They'll tell you the best course of action or not. But there's no there's no real reason not to get them unless you've been told not to by your doctor. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you, yeah, take all the supplements, they're great for you. No, do what your doctor tells you.
take some of the supplement.
Yeah, take some of the ones and the ones that you've been told to do. Case closed. Where are we up to now? Which ones are the most dangerous to be deficient in? Is that where we are? Micronutrients?
I don't know.
Oh no, vitamin D
Vitamin
obtained through
D's,
sunlight.
yeah.
Are there other micronutrients that are obtained via methods other than eating? Micronutrients not eating. I don't think I'm going to find anything like that. Like it's that's going to be a really
anything
difficult
we
thing to
create
Google.
ourselves.
Like it's not only that, it's really tough to Google that, because if I Google the words not eating, all I'm going to get is things like this, which say, what if you don't eat them? So you can't. It's really difficult to Google negatives. I can't think of any off the top of my head other than vitamin D, but like I wouldn't know about vitamin D if other people just shouted about it all the time. But there's an option. Like I imagine you can.
I think it's vitamin D is honestly one of the few like specific ones that we can make, and all the other ones are ones that you don't. So think I think it's like an exception. And generally, there's not. Maybe there might be like something else, but I feel like if there were others, you'd hear about them, right? Like vitamin D. No?
Yeah, like they'd be things that required more supplementation because people would stop getting them. Like vitamin D is an important one because sunlight, and not everyone has sunlight all the time.
I feel like you'd hear about it. So I would be, like 95% positive to say no. There aren't any.
Yeah. Which one's the most dangerous to be deficient in? Deficiency. Christ, there's going to be loads of these.
Yeah, there's so many. Like the most dangerous. I mean, they're all dangerous. Like I don't know. I-
Iron deficiency is common, not overly dangerous, just makes you a bit tired. Iodine deficiency can affect your brain. Vitamin D deficiency, soft bones, risk of fractures. Vitamin B12, blood disorders, calcium, osteoporosis later in life. Vitamin, what's this one? A, blindness, eye damage. Magnesium, mental health
Magnesium
conditions.
balls.
Like, there's so many different things you could be deficient in that I'm not sure how I'm going to find the most dangerous one. They all
Yeah.
will cause problems. Some will cause more problems than others, and depending on depending what they do, and also on the person, is of how dangerous it's going to be to people.
Yeah, a
Like,
lot of the symptoms will overlap and stuff. Like I think generally. Also, they probably go hand in hand. Like Jay's saying, like one deficiency together. It's hard
yep,
to really.
yeah,
Um, kind of talked about the being allergic.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
and yeah. The answer was the second answer question is yes. You can probably just find a different one.
Good. I'm done with this question.
We've done it. We've covered it. Oh,
Have
hang on,
we?
I haven't seen what's changed. Um, is it the pug?
No. Oh, the
I think I'll
pug's
say
been
that
there for
every week.
months. Yeah, I think
Oh
you say
no,
that every week.
it's bottom right, isn't it? It's the it's that face.
Yeah, it's Super Nanny.
Nice.
Oh, we've got Super Nanny now. Here
Yeah, of course we do.
to save the day.
Mm.
Cool. Cool, Super Nanny. Dog. Okay, this is one. This is also one of the old ones. Can we get a Super Nanny guest star? I mean, if she wants to be on the show, I'd let her. I'd love that. Okay. Cactus.
Cactus.
Cactus. Why is getting spiked by a cactus, like a cholla, so much more painful than something like a thorn needle? Also, how is cholla pronounced? I don't know. I'm just assuming it's like choya? Maybe it's choya, because in Guild Wars, choyas are the cactus people. So
Oh,
it is probably actually choya.
there we go. Gaming teaching us everything we need to know.
Let's listen to what
Choya.
choya. I was fucking right. Og.
Mm.
Um, why not both, Jeff? Does jumping choya actually jump? How are cactus more well suited to growing in the desert compared to regular plants? Interesting. I'm late. You're late. You missed us talking about nutrients for an hour. It's fine.
Yeah.
You didn't miss much, to be honest. We're just getting
Yeah.
to. We just got to your question, basically. Pronounced choya. Yeah.
Yeah.
We all learned.
So, why is getting spiked by a cactus so much more painful? So, before looking at any answers to this, I think that cactus needles are hollow, which I think would hurt more because of reasons. And also, they're probably covered in some kind of chemical which thorns aren't. Because thorns are like this wooden thing, but cactus spikes are more planty, so have stuff on them. So that's the without googling answer. Now, actually, I'm sure Redox has found all the answers by now, but
and
just
all
in
the
case,
answers.
I'll also start googling.
They're not poisonous. For example.
No, no, not poisonous. Um,
Finding ways how to remove cactus. Why do cactus needle hurt? These barb fracture flesh and catch in it more easily than non-barbed. So they're barbed, apparently?
Well, all cactus spines are barbed.
Probably not all.
Well, enough of them.
Right.
I'm not sure that they are.
Glockids or Glockidia, singular Glockidium, hair-like spines or short prickles, generally barbed. So not all of them, but mostly barbed. You're telling me that cactus is a barb? Slay cacti, slay. Ooh. Cactus glockids easily detach from the plant and lodge in the skin, causing irritation upon.
Really?
Yeah.
Irritation,
But
you
I guess
say?
it's yeah. So they, unlike thorns on a rose or something, they like a rose's thorns don't actually like hatch, right? It's just like a little pricky like that, which is it's still a kind of barb hook kind of thing, but I guess cactus needles are like, I guess they have these mini barbs on them sometimes, and they just wait. Close up image of. You can see they're it's kind of hard to see because it's very small, but like this one's got a little
barbage.
one has like a tiny little barbage and many barbages.
Okay.
Well, I'm
An
assuming.
article that I thought would be useful is unfortunately not loading, so I can't look at it. It was specifically about Joya and everything.
Oh yeah,
Joya.
the Guild Wars enemy.
Yeah.
How about the tiny thorn ball? I know what you mean. I don't know what they're called.
Spines damage the tissue at the prickling spot and cause little cuts. I presume that's probably from the little barbages. Whereas a thorn will just spike you.
Sure, maybe, probably. Yeah, basically they fuck up your skin more. Whereas like rose barbs will like, not barbs, rose thorns will like kind of. These will like lodge in your skin and like damage the tissue and stuff. Hers.
That
Oh
looks
yeah,
about right.
you're right. Right, that is what it's called. This, right? These kind of things. The seed. Yeah, it has little hooks or teeth. Okay. Yeah, I guess it's made to like attach to fur and stuff, right? So that animals like who brush past it will take it with them, so that it moves and spread their seed.
There you go. There's a picture of a Chola's spine for you. Overlapping barbs, difficult to remove and painful. So it's barbages.
Barbages.
And this goes into specific detail about why it hurts. Oh, hello. When they tested it on chicken breasts. When they removed from the chicken breast the barbed spine, such as choya, came out with a coating of tissue. By contrast, it came out with the clean pork samples clean, but missing some of their barbs, which the researchers presume were left behind in the flesh. Essentially, it's either going to pull bits of you out or leave bits of itself in there, which is going to hurt either way. Does jumping choya actually jump?
I was looking it up. So jumping.
I imagine
choya
it's
is
just
like,
really lightweight and difficult to handle, right?
it's like apparently it's so it's like these, and it's got these little finguses on it. You know, like those kind of cactuses.
Yeah. Like I've got a picture of it, I think.
Oh, that's a weird one. What I
Its
get,
subheading is a Choya cactus, so
yeah, and they just like these things just kind of like detach, so they get stuck to your skin and shit. They kind of jump. I don't know. They don't jump, but like they break very very quickly off, and they attack you. Feels like they jump on you. You know?
yeah, yeah. And they're sticky and they bounce around and they'll stick to other bits of you. Yeah, I guess
Yeah, I'm
jumping
assuming
is
they
just
get
kind of
blown
like,
around by the wind and shit, and that might be why they jump.
oh, it's a goal. Yes.
Um, the video of a dumbass eating a cactus. What, like with the barbs? Like bite.
Ooh,
That sounds horrible. That's like some
that's pretty
sauce
grim.
shit.
Let's not watch that.
Yeah, I don't want to watch that. How are cactus more well suited to growing in the desert compared to regular plants? They're
Big old water storage, and
yeah,
also
very similar
possibly
to
no, they wouldn't need
camels.
surface area. Like, I guess like so the difference for living so plants in so I'm going to go talk about trees, I guess, more than anything. So trees, more so than volume, require surface area because they need to pick up as much light as possible, but don't really need to worry about a lack of moisture. They can just continually get it through their roots and whatnot. The opposite is true for desert plants, where sunlight isn't an issue, so they don't need to maximize surface area. They just need to make sure that if they have to go through a long period without water, they can have some on reserve. And
Yeah.
so, where'd you put it? Put it inside yourself. Again, a topic Wise is very familiar with.
Stop being mean to one.
Look, Wise loves it. I know it.
Had it coming.
That's the problem.
Fuck's sake. You're gang. No. No.
Damn it,
Jay.
Redox.
But yeah, it's the exact same reason as camels have these humps. Keep they keep water stored.
I just need to pour myself a drink real quick.
Yeah.
See, I can't even talk because I'm not drunk.
I'm
I'm going to be on loop for a moment, so I should do something cool because I'm going to turn my camera off.
Yeah. You should do like huh. Come on. Do a cool move. Oh no, it's
It's awful.
just cutting back, so you scratching your neck.
I have to do so much is the thing. Like,
Oh yeah, it's such a long loop.
yeah.
It's a loop of you going back to the earlier loop and then going back.
Yeah.
I just noticed. I see.
Yeah, I got no chance.
This is incredible. It just looks like a gif of wheat things. Like a wheat compilation, you know?
God, we've always wanted one of those.
It's great.
It's great. My sink is literally here, so I barely have to go anywhere. Like, what was the point?
Your sink? Are you pouring some nice tap water?
What would you get?
I don't know. And I don't know. I didn't. When you said I'm gonna pour myself a drink, it sounded like you were gonna get a drink, and not, like tap water's a drink, I guess. But that's not what I imagine when you say.
No, because when I
pour
would say
myself a drink.
no, that's the difference. Like, this is literally the only thing I would pour for myself, because like if I'm drinking anything else, I just drink it from the can or bottle. Whereas water, I actually have to pour into the glass because I can't connect the tap to my mouth.
You should. I'm gonna pour myself a drink as well, and it's not. I don't trust British tap water.
Our tap water's fine.
Well, now that you're not in the EU, who knows what rules you have for making
True.
it safe?
It might not be for much longer. I should maybe keep track of that.
Yeah, you've talked about Cactus. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Choya. There you go. That's what they do. They're painful. They're barbed. Ow.
Ooh. Hello, Jock.
And not well, they're like rough barbs, I guess, because I suppose thorns are kind of barbed, but only at the end. So you can.
Yeah,
pull
but
them
they're
out.
very large. These are like small bars.
Yeah.
So do we, chef. So do we.
Yeah. Perhaps in the past I would have drunk through this stream, but no longer.
No longer.
No longer.
Too
I'm too
confusing
professional now.
otherwise. Oh. It's a Dread Hunger question. Well, it's not Dread Hunger, but it's mentioning nitroglycerin.
Nice.
Good to feed the addiction.
Nice.
How is nitroglycerin different from TNT
I played.
or gunpowder?
Hang on, let's get to that later. I played because Penguin started playing metal on stream at the moment, and he played My Curse by Killswitch Engage, which is a song I know. So when I was in the lobby today, I just played that, which was nice. Then I'm starting to take requests now there as well. So think of songs.
Pog.
I learned a song which I thought was called Mysteria by Muse, but it's actually Hysteria. And by that I mean the intro to it. Like, I didn't really learn the rest of it. That would be ridiculous. Fortunately, it doesn't take long to learn these songs. I highly doubt they're going to name something particularly complicated. Like, what would they go for? If Pedguin starts saying Through the Fire and Flames.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say as well. Play Through the Fire and Flames. Come on.
To be fair, like if we're just talking, if we're just talking that bit, I reckon that bit's not too hard. Like, that's where it gets hard.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. It goes into some verses then, and the verses are really easy. But then it's the solos in the middle that are quite difficult.
And well, the thing is that they put like little riffs on the end of the main bit as well, because that thing you did as well, like that's not a pattern, like because solos are difficult to learn because it's both okay, where does the note go, and also what's the pattern and timing of it. Like general riffs, like the Muse riff he gave me was easy because it was it was constant note in order. It was da 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 da. It didn't go like that, but like that was the rhythm of it, and then there was tune over the top, so it was easy to like figure that out and figure that. You don't need to worry about timing of the thing and whatever. But so that's why that intro of Through the Fire and Flames would be easy, because it's just a consistent rhythm and then notes split in that. When things get a bit more tricky is when it's both quick and also there's rhythm to it, which Through the Fire and Flames would go into.
So what you're saying is you should listen to Through the Fire and the Flames during this question.
Yeah, sure, why not? Because it kind of fits, to be honest. I mean, this question even contains the words bang head, which is something you do when listening to Through the Fire and Flames. It's also something, again, that Wise is very familiar with.
Well, familiar. Not that you does it.
Aware of, I should say, maybe. Ooh, Chelsea nearly scored, but we're okay.
Okay. How is nitroglycerin different from TNT or gunpowder? It's a different chemical.
Yes.
TNT is not talking about track and trace. Talking about thing. Oh my god. TNT chemical is trinitrotoluene. It's probably made from similar things that are the active ingredients.
I'm pretty sure it's just the same thing.
Is nitro? I
think dynamite. So dynamite, TNT, blah blah blah, is just nitroglycerin. Only it's been stabilized in some way into the form that it's in.
This is TNT, and this is nitroglycerin. Different.
Ah. I guess I've gone to the page on dynamite, so I guess dynamite isn't TNT. Dynamite is a
chemical.
Yeah. So dynamite is just nitroglycerin, and it's been stabilized into a way where it won't just explode randomly.
When can I leave to be on my own?
Champ, we can't just play that while we're listening to Dragon Force. So far, father, how can I leave to be on my own?
So far
Through the
away.
fire and the flames will carry on.
Nice. I like that. You were so close as well. You went so far farther. You could have gone so farther.
True. It was close, to be fair, but we're almost there.
So farther.
Yeah. Father.
Tricky.
How are you
Tricky.
doing, John? Not only could I did. True.
course.
Yeah, so TNT is 2-methyl 1,3,5 trinitro
Yeah, it's a thing.
benzene, whereas nitroglycerin is propane. 1,2,3 trinitrate. Yeah. Also, this is a benzene, which is a ring, and this one's like it's not a complete ring. It's just.
Oh my god! I've just right. So you know that. Hang on. You know the mistake I made in saying TNT and dynamite are the same thing, sort of. Right when this started, I've been called out by Wikipedia for that. So I'll just read you this section. TNT is most commonly assumed to be the same as or confused for dynamite, largely due to the ubiquity of both explosives during the 20th century and the civilian practice of preparing dynamite charges in sticks wrapped in red waxed paper and shaped to fit in cylindrical boreholes drilled into the rock face. Its incorrect connection between TNT and dynamite was enhanced by Bugs Bunny cartoons, where animators started labeling any kind of cartoon bomb, ranging from, including the red sticks, as TNT, because the acronym was shorter and more memorable and did not require literacy to recognize TNT meant bomb. This eventually led to the general perception that TNT and dynamite were one and the same. So there you go. I've been called out because of Bugs Bunny.
King Bugs Bunny. What an asshole.
King Bugs Bunny, exactly.
That's very interesting. Anyway, they're all different explosives. I mean, how are they different? They're just, there are many things that, like, what you need for a...
Wikipedia called you illiterate. Yeah.
There's many things that you need for an explosion, right? But the main thing you need is... it's because an explosion is just a very fast, like, burning, basically. Very fast oxidation. But what you want is something that has a lot of energy, like it oxidates very highly energetically and very fast. So that could be anything. Could be anything really. I'm assuming generally these nitrate. This has trinitrate groups, nitroglycerin. It's these. I don't know if you can see it. These things, right? Trinitrate. It's got nitrogen and 3 oxygens on it. And then if you look over here, this one has NO2 on it. So I'm assuming it's like that. Those kind of bonds have probably do a good.
Yeah, because like nitrous oxide is the thing that everyone mentions, right? Like nitrous oxide is just a highly reactive thing.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what happens.
Yeah.
Question: how was nitroglycerin stabilized? You had it open.
Oh, well, I didn't really, but I had something similar.
You were looking at stabilized.
Can
you?
They just called it stabilizers, though, is the thing. Is a chemical that is used to prevent degradation. Find out what degradation is.
Actually, it does not need to be an oxidation. It is just any rapid expansion. Well, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it just prevents the nitroglycerin compound from breaking down into various components and therefore losing what it is, and also probably preventing rapid reaction in cases where something causes it to begin a reaction, so that you need that bigger spark to get it going. Hence the fuse, because nitroglycerin itself is incredibly
wise. Yeah, but all of these are oxidation explosions. All of the ones
Joke's on
that
you,
we're
Wise.
gonna
I'm
hear.
not into that shit.
That's what you say.
That's what I say. One of the few. only friendlily. Friendlily.
And Lily.
Friendlily? She wasn't into it either. But yeah, it just stabilizes nitroglycerin because nitroglycerin goes all over the place. I am wearing
Okay, we've
shorts.
listened to Through the Fire and the Flames at least once now. Now repeating. I don't even remember. Maybe we listened to it once, but it's a long song, so I doubt it. Hair gone, shorts on, it's degradation time.
That's what I'm naming my Rocket League team.
Hair's on, shorts. Hair gone, shorts on, it's degradation time.
Or maybe that can be the stream title when the football finishes.
True. True. I like hair gone, shorts on. It's got a nice rhyme to it.
Yeah, I could say that like probably for the next 6 months as well.
Yeah.
That's not true. 5 months.
Okay.
Like if I stream from Morocco.
Is that where you're going? Have you decided?
I might as well. I'm not going to think of anywhere better to go, am I?
Pause.
It kind of fits what I was aiming for as well, because I was thinking Africa, and Morocco isn't quite Africa, or is it? I'm not really sure.
It's Africa, yes.
It's kind of
It's
like
just because it's North Africa doesn't make it not Africa.
Well, I know, but it's like it's very European Africa.
Well, I mean, it is, but it isn't. It's 100% Africa.
Well, yes, okay, it's literally
just because
Africa,
it's Mediterranean,
but
like,
also
it's not even. It's kind of Mediterranean, not even.
Look, it's literally Africa, but it's the only place Ryanair will fly you as though it's Europe that is in Africa. Okay, that's my definition.
That a lot. We're talking about Nitro. Stop getting distracted. When is it? How was it stabilized? That's your job. You're looking at.
Oh no, they just put chemicals in there. I don't fucking know how it's stabilized. They put other things in there. I don't know. Like, I guess it's something like you put something in there that affects the equilibrium of the nitroglycerin in general and prevents it from splitting into its components. That's what I guess is happening. There was very little in terms of description about it.
I will have a look at Alfred. Yeah. He was famously the one who invented dynamite.
Okay, the details of a decomposition process are not always well defined, but some of the process is understood. Much energy is needed to break bonds, since all decomposition reactions break apart the bonds holding it together in order to produce it into its simpler basic parts. The reactions would require some form of this energy in varying degrees, but because of this fundamental rule, it is known that most of these reactions are endothermic, although exceptions do exist. Endothermic, I believe, being taking energy in rather than releasing it, which means that nitroglycerin is somewhat of a abnormality in that regard. Oh, good touch. Oh, nearly. Sorry.
What? Shut up.
Nearly a goal. Sorry, I was just thinking about degradation. That's all.
You invented water sports. Yeah, the piss prize. What are you saying? He Alfred Nobel found that when nitroglycerin was incorporated in an absorbent inert substance like kieselguhr, diatomaceous earth, which who fucking knows what that means? That it became safer and more convenient to handle, and this mixture he patented in 1867 as dynamite. Why is Champ knows?
Yeah.
Why do we even do these streams? Champ knows everything already.
Because Champ isn't streaming it.
True.
If Champ did start streaming it, we'd have to cancel. It would be done. It'd be over.
Yeah. Our career would be over. Before it even started. Diatomous Earth is enhanced soil with dead diatom. More phytoplankton. Okay, I learned.
Yep.
Here you go. Why does it become less explosive when frozen? Are you looking that up? Are you looking that up?
Oh, sorry, I wasn't even aware of other parts of this question. We spent so long on this bit, I forgot there was other bits. I imagine just because, again, it stabilizes the thing.
Yeah, I'm assuming colder means less energy, means less, like, sedation. No?
Oh,
I think
hang
that's
on. Did you say less? Because the first thing I find here is a serious problem in the use of nitroglycerin results from its high freezing point of 13 degrees Celsius, and the fact that the solid is even more shock sensitive than the liquid.
Oh. So it becomes more explosive when frozen.
Yeah. Probably what's going on in Dread Hunger then. This disadvantage is overcome by using mixtures of nitroglycerin with other polynitrates. So that's just going to be the stabilizing elements of it going in there. But what that does is actually lower the freezing point rather than anything else. Nitroglycerin freezing and contracts upon freezing, of course, like most things should. It is extremely insensitive to I'm getting multiple conflicting reports here. This second article says it is extremely insensitive to detonation in the frozen state.
Oh. Also, in Dread Hunger, the
Wikipedia
nitroglycerin
says
is a bunch of bottles, and
yeah,
there's a liquid in it.
Sure, but at that temperature, it should be frozen, surely. Presumably,
Well,
they've stabilized the nitroglycerin.
Not, if you look at it.
Well, we need to get in touch with them.
Yeah. What time? What year is it? The Northwest Passage that they do? It does say, right?
Yeah, it does. I just don't know what it is.
Probably around the invention of dynamite as well, right? Probably around that time.
Well, the fact that they're using nitroglycerin rather than like dynamite would suggest that it's just before then. Because like if you had dynamite, you'd use it.
Yeah, maybe, champ. But also, like, what does shock sensitive mean if not linked to detonation? You know?
Yeah, because like
yeah, my hand is shock sensitive. Like, yes, you can. If you move it, it moves. You know, like what else? Like, you know, what does shock sensitive mean? Light,
yeah.
like that. It just feels kind of weird. You know,
the Wikipedia page itself says
but
liquid nitrogen was found to be desensitized by freezing it at a temperature to something. What I'm wondering is that actually saying that the desensitized means? Okay. A phlegmatized explosive is an explosive that has had an agent added to stabilize or desensitize it.
Does someone have any nitroglycerin? Can we try it out? Maybe we can try it out in Dread Hunger. Like my balls. True.
Oh, so freezing it into a solid is what happens in dynamite.
Oh. But it's also
it allows the liquid, which is very sensitive to shock, to be handled more vigorously. But also, I don't think that phlegmatizing is the same as freezing. Phlegmatizing is like, for instance, it's saying that you're combining it with paraffin wax. Does that just make it more of a suspension of like pellets rather than anything else? Or are you just? I'm not really sure because it can't be like it's not like mixing it into a fusive state. It's like it's surely just bits of it in bits of it, like oil and water or stuff.
I don't know.
And then
Is it like homogeneous or not?
I'd presume so because like you're not getting like, well, tough to say because the bits that you'd put in the dynamite would be the bits that have gone properly, and then I guess you just continue to use the excess nitroglycerin, add more stuff into it, and continue on like that. So like you add, I don't know, in this case, paraffin wax to the liquid that you're using, and oh, sorry, there's a chance here. Oh, it's terribly dealt with. Sorry. Oh fuck, that was awful. And sorry, football. So like you would add the paraffin wax to it. You would form the phlegmatized state of it, which from the picture I've got on screen, you can see is just pellets essentially.
Yeah, you say it's on the screen. It's not really, is it?
Okay, sorry. Sorry, I'm not actually looking at my screen because I'm watching football. But there you go. All right, I'm gonna have to tweet that again in the future. So anyway, that looks like that, and so I guess when you have that or one bigger blob of the entire thing that is what you're trying to get, you just you take those out, put them where they need to go, or get them ready for storage or to be dealt with, and then move on with your life, and then repeat it using whatever was left of your liquid and get more paraffin wax to add to it. But yeah, that I'm not, because the reason I look into that is because that's obviously not the same as freezing it.
Yeah, it's obviously very different.
So I'm not sure why that I was linked to that page essentially. Its sensitivity to shock while frozen is somewhat unpredictable. It is more insensitive to shock from a fulminate cap or a rifle ball. So it's less likely to explode when being shot when it's a solid, but is more liable to explode when being crushed. Frozen nitroglycerin is much less energetic than liquid, and so must be thawed before use. Thawing it out can be extremely sensitizing, especially if impurities are present or the warming is too rapid.
Yeah, that sounds dangerous.
Yeah, so so it's a difficult one to answer that because it's all over the place.
Yeah, apparently no one fucking knows.
Yeah.
Interesting though. What was blasting oil is the question. Blasting oil. Also. Give me nitroglycerin. Is it just nitroglycerin?
Could be. I've googled blasting oik, which is what wise calls people when walking down the posh streets of Oxford. Develop the use of nitroglycerin as a blasting oil. So I guess it's just any kind of explosive liquid.
Yeah. How was nitroglycerin used to treat angina? Angina. Oxford is one giant posh street. What?
Don't worry about it.
Angina or angina is a type of chest pain
caused by reduced blood flow to the heart muscles.
Symptom of coronary artery disease. I'm assuming it's in very small doses that you take nitroglycerin. You pick up glycerin with concentrated nitric and sulfuric acid. Then it blows up and you die. Pog? That sounds like a great way to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds exciting. Maybe we should try that on uncertainly accurate out in the
Gone
wild.
dark. Gone dark but gone dark, but also suddenly very bright.
Nitroglycerin dilates the arteries in the heart, which improves the blood flow to the heart, which treats the symptoms of angina.
Hmm.
There you go.
There you go.
Today I learned. What were employees of nitroglycerin manufacturing facilities known to get extremely bad headaches? That was bang head. Probably evaporated and it's bad, isn't it? It's like
Yeah.
nitrous oxide poisoning.
Yeah, don't drink it. Don't sniff it. Even.
Sniff it in it. I'm scared to Google bang head.
Go on.
Head injury. Infrequent exposure to high dose of nitroglycerin can cause severe headaches known as NG head or bang head. That's just on the Wikipedia page. These headaches can be severe enough to incapacitate some people. However, humans develop a tolerance to and dependence on nitroglycerin after long-term exposure. The rare withdrawal can be fatal. Interesting.
Oh, true. Nitrous oxide is laughing gas. I guess don't take too much of it. I guess maybe if you took a lot of it, that would cause a headache because it does cause mental changes. Essentially.
Where's my camera buffer struggling?
Why wouldn't it?
Shouldn't. Just struggling for no reason at all. Why the fuck was... I think I figured out why. Because Snap Camera decided to start recording.
Oh.
I guess I pressed a hotkey for it. I thought I didn't have one. It now? How strange. Anyway, sorry.
I'm just gonna Google GTN spray.
Interestingly,
I imagine because it's not like chemically identical to nitroglycerin, and small chemical changes can make large differences to how things act physically. Using erectile dysfunction medication with GTN spray can cause a sudden decrease in blood pressure, which can be life-threatening. So be careful.
well, that's a similar effect actually then to nitroglycerin, because that also, like, if it lowers blood pressure, that means probably expanding, like dilating the veins as well, right? Which is what I was doing before. Might have some similarities. But yeah, interestingly, the industrial workers had thing where they had Sunday heart attacks, so they'd develop a tolerance to nitroglycerin during the week, and then over the weekend they like lost tolerance and like had withdrawal symptoms and shit when they weren't working. Sunday heart attacks, and then Monday disease. When they went back, because their tolerance lowered over the weekend, they weren't used to it, so they had dizziness and headache and shit. Interesting. Did you turn your body into an explosive by drinking nitroglycerin?
I mean, yeah, but you'd probably die in the process.
I think you might not have thought about this, but if you're gonna blow up, you're probably gonna die. Yes. I think
sure,
that was
but what I mean is, What I mean is die before blowing up.
The question is how stable is the nitroglycerin for you to be able to drink it without blowing up? You know?
Stable enough. Like it said, it's not so much crushing for liquid nitroglycerin, which is more the act of swallowing would give.
I guess.
I guess you'd have to be careful about how much you put into your body because pressure and all that. I imagine
honestly,
if you were going, like, if I were going to set a
to
trap
explode.
for nitroglycerin in this way, I would find a dead person and fill them with nitroglycerin, not an alive person.
Fair enough. Yeah, I also doubt you could like drink enough nitroglycerin for it to for it to explode. I don't know. Like I feel like you'd just pass out before you'd be able to blow up. Maybe? Because I don't know. Because also like breaks it down and stuff in your while it's in your body. I don't know what your body would do to it.
Yeah, you die one way or another. Arsenal have scored again from a penalty, 4-2, win secured.
Yeah, I mean, champ, I wasn't assuming. I don't assume it that you're drinking it. You're drinking medical nitroglycerin. I'm assuming that you're drinking like explosive, made to blow up nitroglycerin.
Yeah.
Pain of a lifetime lost in 1,000.
Actually happened before. Someone drank a bottle of nitro and went out and died in the snow somewhere. Then someone took the body in their shack and left him next to a fire, and the whole building exploded once he thawed.
See, so it wouldn't explode when you drink it, but because it's in your body and then I guess it like evaporates and shit. I don't know how. I feel like it's. Oh yeah, I know Andy. He's great.
Yeah.
Got a TikTok and everything. I love him. He's an interesting person. Anyway, okay. It's time to go to our next question because we got through the end of the song there. You just got very lucky. I see. Yeah, I don't know. It just depends how you're drinking it. You know, if you're drinking it carefully, that is going to explode in your body. But if, like, whatever you're, like, shaking the bottle or shit. I don't know.
Yeah, like, you'll have to be careful with how you swallow and shit as well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. You'd probably want to do, like, really small sips, maybe? Would you just down
You want it to be, like... Well, I think if you down it, it's going to...
Blow up.
A chain reaction might happen and go back into the bottle, you know? Whereas if you do small sips, it will be fine. I don't know. Who knows?
Sure, just a really small explosion inside of you somewhere.
Yeah,
that's harmless.
No? Back to chill music. Sea shanty too, that's so good. This is an interesting
Space
one.
Fling?
Yeah.
God, I remember when I went on a Space Fling. What?
The TikTok.
I'm not interested anymore.
It's a TikTok.
Here's the plan. They're gonna take this giant vacuum chamber. A space company is trying to fling things into space. Here's the plan. They're gonna take this giant vacuum chamber centrifuge and attach a satellite to the end of an arm in the middle. And then they're gonna spin it. And they're gonna spin it faster and faster and faster until at exactly the right time, the arm is going to let go of the satellite, which will fling it up the tube faster than the speed of sound. Once it flings past Earth's stratosphere, a rocket engine would fire and place it into its final orbit. And this plan is working. This company called Spin Launch had their first launch in October. They successfully propelled a test vehicle at supersonic speeds and then recovered the test vehicle. This technology claims to be able to reduce the fuel required to reach orbit by 4 times, reduce the cost associated with launch by 10 times, and be able to launch multiple times a day. And they just signed an agreement to launch something for NASA. Do you think that the future of launches could be flinging things into space? A space company.
Very pog, isn't it? He's still. I'll let him.
Okay, there we go. Very, very interesting. Oh shit, very interesting.
Isn't
Is it? What do you mean? Is it?
Isn't it? I think it's quite interesting.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, cool. Don't have
Also
much
the
to say
fact
about it.
How
Cool.
massive that is. Like, I don't know. I just want to know how exactly it spins things. You don't really see it.
Well, like it's electricity, I guess. Just a lot of power in it.
Yeah, some.
I presume that the spinning chamber is also vacuum. How many G's? I imagine you die, to be honest. Like, it didn't tell me how fast exactly it was going up. But
I feel like I feel like this is more for like getting satellites and stuff up there.
Yeah, it's not passenger safe.
Yeah. Okay, so there is just a big fan thing in the middle. Vacuum chamber. It's in a vacuum chamber. Electric motor drive. Hydrodynamic oil dampen bearing. 100-meter diameter. Quite large. High-speed mechanical airlock. Yeah, that's like because it's a vacuum sealed room. When you're spinning and you let it go, you'd need to have that like open almost perfectly for the launch to like not fuck up your vacuum seal.
Yeah, but that's not difficult mechanically.
Well, no, but that's I don't know. I think that's pretty cool because that is
Yeah.
quite a engineering feat to be fair. Like doors that open fast enough, shit like that.
Sure, ignore the giant spinning arm.
Yeah, I mean the rest of it is also very impressive.
Look how fast they open this door, though.
Well, I think that's cool. Okay. Well, they've already used it. I think, Andy. They're not. They've already done tests.
Yeah, they said
I think
they
this
did
is
tests.
a small scale one, probably.
They
Maybe
did
not.
it with a test vehicle, apparently.
Yeah, and that worked. And they have a thing with NASA. Yeah, exactly. If you don't need to carry like a shit ton of fuel, you don't need. Because literally 90% of the rocket. Where is it?
I think it reached orbit. They got it into space and then, well, they didn't put it in orbit, but I think it reached orbit because they put it there and then brought it back down.
Like if you have a rocket,
they probably brought it back down to check if it was still okay.
like if you have a rocket, you have like a little satellite, and then like 90% of the rocket is just fuel storage, basically. Like this entire fucking bit is just fuel storage that breaks off while it's going up, right? Because you need so much. Yeah, and there's a rocket equation to like how much fuel you need, and because when you add fuel, you need so much fuel that like the fuel you add, you have to calculate. You have to like actually think about how much it weighs and shit, because it becomes such a big part of the weight. So there's the equation Champ is talking about is the equation that of like you have a rocket of this weight, then you need this much fuel, because and it gets crazy the larger things you send. Which is why as you can see here, it expands exponentially. I'm assuming, maybe. But yeah, it's crazy because that's why getting anything into space is so expensive. Anything like you want everything to be as light as possible. That's like the main focus that NASA works on most of the time. Yeah, it's yeah, it's yeah, I don't know, interesting. Mhm. And so yeah, this would be a way to not have gazillions of billions of fuel needed to shoot a rocket in the air. If you have just something that you can make go spinny, especially if it's just
Yeah.
electrical, right? All you need is electricity. I say all you need. You probably need a fuck ton, but like, boom.
Mm. Mm.
Mm.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
said a
probably.
quarter
Didn't
of the
they
fuel
also
cost needed.
snuck a golf ball and shit on board, right, champ? And they golfed on the moon. That that's the thing. It's such a fucking. Did you fuck with your camera again?
Yeah. I'm eating.
Yeah, I would sneak some bitches on board. That would not go well. That would not go well at all because you need a very specific. There are very like strapped in seated positions. You can't just sneak some people on. Oh,
Yeah,
which
so I made a mistake.
yeah. So this could be a solution to all the having to use millions of dollars of fuel for any rocket.
Yeah, the real question is, do we want that? Do we want more things in space before we come up with an easy way of getting them out of space?
True. Also, I don't know, because you're like, oh, the G forces are too high, but I, what if what if they manage to, like, I'm trying to think of like a way of how to, like, if this could be used for like actual transport.
Hmm. I'm nearly finished with my food. I just want to see if I can get off screen.
Probably will. I think the G's are around 10,000. Yeah, that's quite a lot. That's quite a lot. I don't know. I wonder if this kind of stuff, if I wonder if there's, because like this is very good. This is a very cool idea, very different to what we use. So it would definitely be a, no, it's definitely an interesting thing, and there might be similar ways doing it that don't just like, yeah, I don't know. It's not. Maybe there's like a less G-force heavy ways to do this that we can figure out in future launch rockets. But
I doubt it.
currently also, why the fuck do you want to send people into space? There's nothing to go, like there's nowhere to go to except the fucking International Space Station.
Yeah, I doubt you could make this into any kind of person launching thing.
Spin the cockpit into opposite direction. How would that work, Jay? What do you mean? It's not, the G-forces aren't the dizziness, it's just the fact that you're moving at such high speeds. Also, if this part of the rocket is going this way and the cockpit is going this way, how are you gonna attach them before they fling? Also, if it's going this way, that's still moving around, that's still G-forces. It doesn't make sense, Jay. It doesn't make sense. The door's open? What do you mean the door's open? What are you saying? What are you saying? What are you saying? What are you saying? What are you saying?
Anyway, yeah, this won't work for people unless you make, I don't know, some sort of
The
space
door's
elevator out of
open,
it.
they can figure it out. True, they managed to figure out. They managed to open the doors in a door lock, in an airlock, real quick. So surely they can figure something out.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly, champ. This is really interesting. Anyway, what did you think of that TikTok, Pete?
Informative. That's not true at all, is it? Interesting as a concept. Just, you know, was somewhat lacking in information on the work. But then it's TikTok. You can't expect too much.
It's not.
They only have a
well,
minute.
it's not like it's a fucking entire video essay.
What it was, pretty much.
You have like a minute to work with. 3, well, 10 at most, I guess technically now. But I've literally seen no one use it.
Sure, but I would have expected to learn more in a minute.
Well, it's if you want to reach a big audience, you can't just go and be like, "This is the mathematics that they used for this." Like,
I didn't want the math. I wanted more interesting things.
How is it not interesting? What more did you want to know?
They've just told me what happened. They spin and it goes up. That's what they said. They took a minute to do that.
Yeah, but they talked about the company was making this. They've got a thing with NASA now. They've already done it.
Okay, that's
and it
2 more
worked.
seconds.
Well, she is constantly speaking, so like I don't know what you.
Exactly. Why did she say so much and yet say so little?
Yeah, honestly, you make some science videos on TikTok. See how well they do. Right. Let's do maybe a few.
Yeah.
Oh God. Look up.
Calculator.
Unless you know.
I don't know what the question is.
Like I kinda know. But how do you make calculators?
God,
This is a genuine question from Wise. Another an abacus is a thing. How do you make digital calculators? How do you teach stuff mathematical concepts? How do calculators be made in Minecraft? Do the people that do that have to teach Minecraft how maths work? I said binary. Hog J bought a new cat tree. I need pictures. I need pictures. I need pictures, Jay. I need pictures. Yeah, how is the calculator? Like, what is the tech behind? I'm assuming like it's just logic gates, right? But I'm assuming it's like a specific.
Yeah. Logic gates mentioned. Representing the decimal numbers we used in different. Hang on. Blah blah blah. Using the things in a format called binary. Okay, really taking me as a new person on
I
this.
told you it was binary because it's just easier to.
Humans work on numbers in decimal format. It's believed.
You don't need to
I
explain.
mean,
binary.
it's sorry. It's believed because we have 10 fingers and toes to count with. Brilliant. Thanks, article.
Humans use the decimal. Humans work with a decimal format. It's believed.
What a fucking article.
We're not sure about that though. Maybe they do something else.
Sure. Okay. Then they convert decimal to binary. That's fine. And then you do logic gates with binary. Okay, so 3 plus 2 equals 5. A simple sum. Calculator tackles a problem like this by turning the 2 numbers into binary, giving 1, 1, which is 3 in binary.
Focus.
plus what the fuck?
Yeah, I like focus pocus.
Giving 1, 1, which is 3 in binary, which equals 1 times 2 plus 1 times 1. Okay, sure. That's what, okay, so that's what the 1, 0 is, and then that's what the 1, 1 is. Fine. Plus 1, 0, which is 2, which is 2 in binary, which is 1 times 2 plus 0 times 1. Okay. Makes 105, which is 5 in binary, which equals 1 times 4. Sure.
Yes, champ, both.
Yes, because it goes up in powers. That's fine. 1 times 4 plus 0 times 2 plus 1, which is indeed equal to 5.
Whatever you're reading now, explain it.
I'm trying to reach where the actually ends first. Put different. Because what I'm getting here is fine, but what I'm not getting is where the 101 comes from. Because, so, it's explaining how it's explaining what 3 is in binary and how it turns it into a number, but how it turns it back into a number from binary. So essentially, what you have with each step of binary is 1s and 0s. So each of these is then a 2 to the power. So the first number in a binary, or in some cases the only number, the rightmost number is just 1 or 0. And to calculate that, you go, you have the 1 or 0, and you multiply it by 1, and that gives you the value. So 0 in binary is 0 in decimal, and 1 in binary is 1 in decimal. You then move on to 2 numbers of binary. You still have the 0 and 1 for the first number. You also have the 0 and 1 for the other number. That one you multiply by 2, and you work it out by going, so say you had 0, 0, you would have 0 times 2 plus 0 times 1, which is still 0. Say you had 1, 0, you would go 2 times 1, which is 2, plus 0 times 1, which is 2, and then to get 3, which is 1, 1.
Literally no one is listening anymore.
No, because this is important for getting to larger numbers.
That's good, but what you're just saying a bunch of numbers and not like writing anything down.
They're literally on the screen, you fucking idiot.
You can barely
look
see
at them.
You can barely
look at
read
them.
That. You can barely read that.
No, it's fine. And also, you've just written down what I was saying.
I'm just writing down binary.
Yes, which is what I was saying.
To what you were saying. I'm just writing down binary.
It is.
The whole power and shit. People know what binary is. Don't worry about that.
Do they though?
Yeah, that's not the question.
Do they though? This is important because
people know what binary is. It's fine.
No, because I'm not saying binary. I'm saying the conversion of binary into digital. I'm not explaining binary. I'm explaining how it is converted back. So to give the number 7, okay, you have. So the first number is multiplied by 1 and added together. The second number is multiplied by, well, I'm sorry, I should say I'm working backwards here. So the rightmost number is just multiplied by 1. The second to rightmost number is multiplied by 2. The third to rightmost number is multiplied by 4 because it's going up in powers.
Are you just saying it's multiplied by the number that is 1 and then 0?
Yeah, fine. So if you do
that's what you're saying.
1 times 1, you get, I'm working for number 7 here. 1 times 1 is 1. Add to that 2 times 1, which is 2. So there you have 3 already. And then add to that 4 times 1 is 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. So that's how you work out these numbers. And that will extend to every number that you're trying to write in binary. Just extend that out.
Okay, but that's not the question.
That's an important part of how you get the final result, okay? That, if you don't have that bit down, you will have no understanding of what follows. Now, the question is, how are you adding together these two binary numbers? And that I don't know, because I'm working for it. The number that comes out binary is the sum of the numbers you put in. So if you fed in the electrical signals 1, 0, and 1, 1, you would get out 101. But why? The logic gates. Hooray! half adders. Isn't that lovely? If you two binary numbers you want and to add on the two input lines A and B, they travel simultaneously to the inputs of the two logic gates. An XOR gate at the top and an AND gate underneath. The output from the XOR gate gives the sum of the two inputs, and while the output from the AND gate tells us if we need to carry a 1, it'll be clearer what we mean if we consider 4 examples. Oh, but Redox doesn't want me giving examples because apparently people know that already, so I won't bother. Half adders don't do more than that. There you go. We've reached the end of the article. So thank you. I'm glad you all understand it now.
The thing is, you were explaining binary.
No, I was explaining the conversion of binary into real numbers.
That is
which
explaining
is the entire
binary.
point.
That is the same as binary. The
Yes, and when you're dealing with a calculator.
Yeah, exactly. That doesn't matter. Champ has explained it correctly, or explained it better. We use transistors, which can be on or off. Basically, they're little binguses, tiny little binguses that can be turned on or off. Usually, they have some sort of off conductor, semiconductor, and things like that. They're basically tiny electrically controlled switches. So they can be either on or off, and that's how we store things. And using those, you can make AND gates, and you can make OR gates, and you can make just general logic gates, and from those, you can do math, basically.
Okay, but how is it adding the two binary numbers together?
Well, that's what I was waiting on you for.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was talking about. And we've moved on to whatever Champ wrote, which has nothing to do with the actual fundamental important part of how this calculator is working. Once you establish how the addition of the binary numbers works, then all of math can follow from that. Like, I'm appreciative of how technically this works, but that doesn't explain it at all.
But like,
I can say, yes, it's transistors and switches and shit, but great, so is everything. But how is the conversion of numbers working?
Okay,
and
well,
how
have
is
you
it
explained that? Because I don't think you have.
No, I haven't, because I was just getting to that.
Okay.
But I'm not allowed to say that, because apparently that's just explaining how binary works, which people understand. There you go, it's on page. You read it. You read it if you're so
I can't
clever.
fucking read it, it's too small.
No, it's not.
It is.
I can read it on my stream overlay, and so if you can't read that on that... Oh, that looks terrible now. Where the fuck even is it? I can't zoom in. It breaks the page.
Oh my god.
I've lost the section. I'm just going to read it, okay? If A and B both receive a 0, we're doing the sum of 0 plus 0. The XOR gate gives a 0 if both its inputs are 0, and so does the AND gate. So the result of our sum is 0 and carry the 0. Brilliant. If A receives a 0 and B receives a 1, then we're doing the sum 0 plus 1 equals 1. The XOR gate gives a 1 if either one, but not both of its inputs is a 1. The AND gate gives a 1 only if both of its inputs are 1. So the result of our sum is 1 and the carry is 0. Brilliant. So what if we move on to a different number of numbers? Finally, if both A and B receive a 1, we're doing the sum 1 plus 1 equals 2. Brilliant. Now the XOR gate gives a 0, while the AND gate gives a 1. So the sum is 0 and the carry is 1, which means the overall result is 1, 0 in binary or 2 in decimal.
You send me the link to that, what you're looking at, wait.
Sure. I must say, I didn't understand what I just read out.
Exactly. Neither did chat.
No. Well, you can't have it. I've been timed out for 10 minutes. Fortunately, I have my own chat.
Why is
Banwise. Do it. Banwise.
I'm not banning Wise. That means
Banwise. Right now.
Unban Wise. Moving this over here. turning my head 500. A bunch of logic gates. I'm assuming you know about logic gates.
Not really.
You don't.
Didn't do this circuitry bullshit.
You don't know OR gate, AND gate, NOT gate.
I know, like,
Me too.
vaguely, yeah, how they work, but only from like a programming sense of view, and then they work in the similar way in a mechanical sense of view.
Yeah. Actually, does it actually explain how those look? Some says they're built by diodes.
I don't care how they're built. I care about how it's working with the calculation. And I don't know that yet. Like, I can see how now it knows how to add a number based on what happens before. What I'm concerned about is so the question to that is, so that's fine because that can be extended to any length of number, provided that there is no situation where the addition of two binary numbers leads to a new number that's binary representation would be more than one number additional to the number of numbers in the largest number of the sums binary. So for instance, in 3 plus 2, which is a 2 length number plus a 1 length number in binary. No, sorry, it's a 3. Sorry, that's a wrong sum. 2 plus 1, which is 0 1, no, 1 0 plus 1. That would come out as, if I'm not mistaken, 3, which is 1 0 0. No, that's not
Say that
right.
again, sorry.
So if you're doing 1 plus 2,
yeah, so
those are represented in binary as 1 and 1 0, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 1 and 1 0. And then 3 is 0 1 1.
1 and 2 is 1 0.
Yeah.
Yes? And then together. But the thing is, it works bit per bit, how it calculates. And this is the kind of thing
Sure,
it uses,
but
right?
yeah, but I'm not concerned about that. What I'm saying is that so that comes out as a number of length 3 in binary, because 3 is 0 1 1. Shit, yeah, you're right. Okay, different sum. Let's do 1 plus 3 then, which is 1 plus 1 1. And that will come out as 4, which is 1 0 0. So
Okay.
So
yeah. So it has this. Generally, there are like just maximum ways to represent numbers. Because also, this is the standard binary things. It is usually in like, I don't know if calculators use. They probably do. Most calculators probably do use floating point numbers. Which is a different specific way to represent binary numbers, and which is like just every number is always represented in like 12 bits, basically. So let's just say you have 1, that would be 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0, whatever, and then 1, you know? So this, just if this would add it, we have 0 1 and 1 1, right? For 1 and 3. And together we would get, if we add those, we get 1 0 0. So what it would do, it would compare these two. So first of all, it would compare the first bit. It would say A and B, right, in this system, in this addition. So A is on, B is on. It goes into the XOR, which is excluding OR, which means so usually an OR gate is if it goes through So there's two sides. I don't know how to draw. I think, is this an OR gate? I don't know. I don't know how to draw. Usually an OR gate, if one side is on and the other side is off, it gives you on. On both sides, of course. But also if both sides are on, it gives, so if both sides are 1, it gives 1. But an exclusive OR gate means it has to be only one side needs to be on. So because both are on, we would get a 0 here, which is this 0, first 0 in this bit. And then there's also this one, the AND gate over here, which gets both 1, which means an AND gate only gives a 1 as result if both inputs are 1, right? So we get a 1 here, which means from these two, we carry one bit over to here, we carry a 1 over to the second bit. And then from over there, do you see what I mean? So at that point, we have this extra 1, and then we have this extra 1, and then we have, once again, 2 1s, which gives the same result. So you get a 0 here, and it carries a 1 to the next one. And since the next one is 0 on both of these, we get 0, which an exclusive OR gate would give you 0. But since it's not 0 0, and we get that extra carried 1, one of these would be 1. I don't know if it goes save. Means we get an exclusive 1 over here. And because it's 1 and 0, there's no AND, so it doesn't carry anything over. There you go.
Yeah.
Can I explain it to you? And basically it just carries over, and that's how you expand into higher bits. It's just, it compares all the bits. One bit is one. Restore numbers, 32, 64 higher bit chunks of memory. Yeah. Here's these numbers stored in a list that it knows where each of these memory chunks live. Numbers are stored in transistors binary 1 0. Instructions are stored in separate bits, but basically an addition is done by saying add number in banks 90 and 91. Instruction opens those two banks and the inputs of an addition gate which does bitwise math and yeah. And the bitwise math is what I just said, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the important bit.
Yeah.
Sure. Because when you can add, you can do anything you want, essentially. Well,
yeah, because from addition you can, from addition you can create multiplication. From multiplication you can create,
Yeah.
And then generally the way computers store bits, as I said, is by using floating point binary, like floating point arithmetic, which just means it uses it's just basically a specific way to do binary, and it's just every number is allocated an entire little bingus, which is what Champ basically explained. It's not that important. I don't know.
No.
There you go. And the way it builds, the way these things work is because of these transistors that can keep, which if you want to get real technical with it, there's semiconductors with I think part of it is semiconductor, part of it is something else, and if there's an electrical current here, it's going to move electrons around in the conductor, like out of it, and if there's a current through here, it's going to move the has a transistor work question before? I don't think so. If you want to ask it, I can go into more detail because it's quite interesting. Basically, the electrons would move out or in. I don't remember. Well, yeah. Basically, you're able to move them in or out of the semiconductor area, which means that it is either conductive or not. Well, that's the kind of transistors I've learned about anyway. This is a very bad explanation. I'm getting a better one. I think I have talked about them. I'm talking about specifically MOSFETs, metal oxide semiconductor, field effect transistors. He's an EE. I don't know what that means. Electrical engineer? That's probably. Yeah, I know. If you want to know more about transistors and MOSFETs and stuff, I that's time. I feel like I have spoken about this before, but whatever. Who cares? Wise, are you happy with that answer? Have we completely broken your brain?
I think so. Calculator in Minecraft, same idea. You just
Yeah. So basically, you can do this in Minecraft. You could make these logic gates in Minecraft, and then if you have these ways to store bits, just like you would in the computer, that's how you do it in Minecraft. Boom. That's how you do addition, and then Minecraft becomes Turing complete, and you can make. Fuck's sake, shit. And you can make computers in Minecraft completely.
Okay, let's move on. Wise, can I check? Were you asking about that question?
No, there are
from
champ. There are
a constructive point of view
semiconductors.
or a physical point of view? I.e., did you want to know how the calculator does the calculation, or did you want to know about the bits in a calculator? Just to make sure, I just want to check that before for my own benefit.
You look at this, champ. These are MOSFETs. Oh.
Shut up, Wise. Okay, next question.
So these are MOSFETs. This is metal oxide semiconductor field effect transmitter, and these are like basically the way to store it. Like these are transistors, so they're little bits. They're used to do. I have some of these literally lying around. I don't. You're thinking of superconductors instead of not semiconductors, superconductors. There you go. I think that was a really interesting question, actually. I know that was a really good question. I'm gonna do one more to get your anger out.
Depends what it is.
Let's see what it would be. Supercom dumpster. Yeah, what I said. Binary star systems. Sounds like it's up your alley.
Probably is. Let's see what it's actually about. Hopefully it's just stuff I know. If it's not.
It's a chef one, so it's a long one, but it's mainly about, is it possible for binary and higher than binary systems? So, if a binary star system is possible, is a tertiary system possible, quaternary, etc.? Are there binary systems of stars of all types? White, red, giant, dwarf. I'm done trying to pair those words correctly. What about supernovas or even black holes? Is it possible for two black holes to orbit each other? How are binary star systems formed? Are the two stars created near each other at the same time, or would the two stars have to drift close enough to each other? What would seasons be like if Earth was in a binary star? How does having multiple suns in a solar system affect the habitable zone of said system? How would planets orbit around a binary? So yeah, let's start from the front. As always. Can you have higher than binary star systems? That too unstable?
Yes, but also no. So you can have 3 stars orbiting a central mass. However, it won't be. So when you think binary, you think 2 stars kind of going around each other, even though they're actually going around their center of mass. What you would have with a triple star system isn't so much 3 stars in kind of equal points going around each other. You would have 2 stars going around their central mass, and then some way out in a distance, another star orbiting around that central mass. So it wouldn't be. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, I was slightly confused by a drawing for a moment, but yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It'd be like this, and then like
Yeah, and then you'd have another one like way out in the distance doing a big orbit around it. And so that's called a hierarchical system. And you can get much bigger than that because there's nothing to stop more of these stars orbiting around that point. There's nothing to stop even a small binary star system orbiting with another binary star system around the central point between those two systems.
Yeah, these two.
Yeah,
This entire
the reason
system.
that you're unlikely, and by unlikely I mean incredibly unlikely, to get a triple star system where they're all relatively nearby is because the gravitational fluctuations they're all orbiting around that point of the center of mass would cause either a collision or an ejection. A collision being the stars collide and form one star, or an ejection being that as you get closer to an object, you can get slingshotted out in the same way as I think we've said with satellites, which you send close to a planet in their orbit so that they pick up speed, and then you just let them go. And as they've picked up speed, they get thrown away. If it was the hair question, I would not be prepared to answer that because that's very complicated.
There are 3-star systems, so I mean, just look at our solar system. Sun, Earth, and we. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. So essentially, you could say that everything that exists is in a system of more than just its object, because the solar system is orbiting around the black hole at the center of the galaxy. So you could say,
if you look at the entire solar system, that's a lot of stars.
it's just you just want to look at like that. Look at it that way. So you can extend these things further and further and further. So you have Sagittarius A star at the center of the galaxy. Then move out to the solar system where you have the sun and all the planets orbiting that. Then move out to a planet with all its moons orbiting that. You can extend that in various different ways. So that's how you would end up with triple star systems and more. In that case, you can have. There's no limit to how many stars can be in a system together. What the issue is that they're not going to be in the way that you see two stars orbiting each other. It's not going to be three in that pattern. It's going to be two stars orbiting each other, one star orbiting both of those stars.
If you had like a triple one like that, would there be could there be planets in that system? Where would they be?
The planets would most likely be around the most external star.
Right.
You could
if you planets orbiting around this star, not around the entire.
So you could have planets orbiting around. Well, any of them actually. Any of the center of masses could have planets orbiting around it. So the binary star system, you could have planets orbiting around that. Around the central point of that, you could have planets orbiting
go around the entire
itself.
So you don't really have like a system of 3 stars with planets going around their entire thing.
You could have that, because of how like empty space is. There's no limit to how far away that third star could be. Well, there is a limit, obviously, because of other things around it, but there's no practical limit of how far away that star would have to be. So that star could be way off in the distance and still orbiting around the central system. They could both have planets of their own. What you can't have is, well, you can kind of. You can kind of have a binary system where a planet orbits just one of the stars, but it has to be a planet very, very close to one of the stars. It would be like a gas giant that formed very close to it and has stayed there. In most situations, you would have one orbiting at the central point. And then you would have that star in the distance. It's interesting because, like, I'm just saying this, it's a complete tangent, but Tatooine, has the perpetual sun situation where one sun sets and another sun rises. That's impossible, but I can't think of how that would even work. Because that's not it orbiting a binary system, because as it spins, it would hide one and show the other. This is one rises and one sets, but they're in the same direction at some point, which makes no sense. Anyway, that's if one was rising on the opposite side of the planet as one sets, then Tatooine would be a very unique situation where the center of mass of that system is Tatooine. And it's just constantly with 2 stars essentially orbiting.
Yeah, that would be.
That's how that would
and
have to
stars
work. But
around it.
if that was happening, you would have one setting on one side as the other rises on the other, rather than
rather
one.
than at the same spot, like one goes down and the other one.
Yeah. So yeah, you can have any number of objects in all of this stuff, but a 3-body system is pretty much impossible, as I think we've gone through. Like it's just there'd be too much interference from
it's just mathematically not stable enough.
Yeah.
It's probably very good and obvious mathematic equations to figure out which ones are stable.
Yeah, like I've just had on my page this entire time the hierarchical system, which can just demonstrate, but it's nothing like complicated about it. This is just how it would be. It's essentially pairs that get split further and further down.
Okay, interesting. Are there binary systems of stars of all types? I'm assuming yes.
Yeah, like one of the examples I see here of a triple system is it's a hierarchical triple system, which is, as that diagram is, it's 2 stars orbiting a center point and then another star orbiting the center point of those 2 stars, but not as part of that 2. In that case, it's a, what does it say here? It's a outer star orbiting a inner binary of a star and a black hole. So yeah, like a binary system can just be a star and a black hole. I think at
the end of the day, it's just about object.
Yeah, it's just anything big enough, you know.
Yeah,
like you could say that that if you just had a star and one planet, you could call that a binary system. It's just those are so one-sided that you don't. But yeah, like if you had, say, a red dwarf star that's barely a star, and with that a, say, brown dwarf planet, which is barely a planet, essentially. Brown dwarf being something that's very, very close to being a star. Yeah, you can like, it hasn't said that it's impossible, this thing, to get a triple, but
well, it's apparently one of the Millennium questions.
Yeah, but what are the chances of that happening? Very low. Not impossible.
Not impossible, but yeah, it's mathematically like almost impossible to prove at the moment. If it will be stable, but it's like, just look at this.
Yeah, like there's so much.
This isn't like an approximation as well, because it's like, you know, we can't mathematically figure out, which I'm assuming is because it's
for the question. Yes, you can have triple, but they're hierarchical, and it can be any object you want it to be. What's next?
It's 9 second-order differential equations, or in the Hamiltonian formalism, it's 18 first-order equations.
Of course.
Which is fucking horrible. Yeah. No general solution. Yeah, basically it's fucked up. It's very complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so complicated that there is one of the Millennium questions, which was a list of 10 questions, I think, at the turn of the millennium, turn of the century, where
give us some help. We'll give you money if you can answer this.
Yeah, basically, if anyone can solve any of these, we will give you it's like $1 million or something. Is the price on them, and it's only one of them has been solved so far, basically, and it's been 22 years. Yeah, and these are questions that have existed for before that as well. But yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
I love how we keep, because this is like the third or fourth one of these that we've ran into just by talking about these stuff. I like that we just find them.
Yeah.
I've been taken off the list. Oh, I see. Just because we're. But the thing is, you'd have to prove that it's non-provable. No? But maybe we have because we know the differential equations.
What about supernovas or even black holes? Yeah, same idea. Supernovas would be a bit weird, but it would still work. Like the orbit would change a bit because of all the mass being ejected everywhere in the explosion. But they would stabilize. And all the matter's still there, so is it possible for two black holes to orbit each other? Yeah, it's fine. How are binary star systems formed? So with all the gas that you would have around, all the stuff. I say gas. When I say gas, I mean all the stuff in space that at that stage hadn't formed into planets or anything like that. So it would be the same idea as just general solar system formation, only you get two very large objects forming it on opposite sides of their central mass. So in the most logical thing to compare it to would be the Sun and Jupiter. Assume that you just have a system containing just those two things. You have Jupiter picking up a lot more mass and becoming a star, essentially, and then on the other side you have another star pulling in all the mass around it to form enough things to become a star. But what normally happens is you end up with one central star because all the mass just ends up there. Yeah, Jupiter's very small compared to the Sun, but it's an example because what tends to happen is that large gas giants form close to a star, and that can happen. But on opposite side of things, it can just form. So essentially, if things are far enough away that the gravity of one thing and the gravity of another thing is enough to pull in enough matter to them, they will both become stars in the same system. What tends to happen, or rather what is most common, is that only one thing is big enough to pull in enough matter to become a star at any one time. But it's just, by chance, so many things are on one side or another. Nice fart.
Shit out of me.
But yeah, that's just how it goes. What would seasons be like if Earth was in?
Sorry, wait, I have a question. Before we go to the next question. So you said, so in your example, you said the Sun and Jupiter. Are binary star systems generally like lopsided, or are they like?
It's very rare.
Similar size because they have to both be large.
They'll be similar. Obviously, it's very rare that they'll be completely equal.
Yeah, okay,
but yeah, most of the time they will be similar. Like the thing is that it's kind of a tricky one because, like, if they're so dissimilar, then you wouldn't call it a binary system. You would call it one thing orbiting the other. So for it to be binary, by definition, they have to be similar because they're orbiting a central point.
Yeah, because if one thing is just so much larger than the other, it's just
in the same way that
the central point will be like
before, you could extend it into the realms of ridiculousy by saying that the Sagittarius A star is in a binary system with the Sun. It's like it's not, but they are technically
like the point, the central point that it's spinning around is inside of the black hole.
Yeah. So yes and no. Like you will have things that are biased in one way or another. I don't want to say like exactly how much, but say you could quite easily get one where one of the objects is 3 times the mass as the other, or something like that. So yeah, entirely possible. Are the two stars created near each other at the same time, or would the two stars have to drift close enough to each other? Well, both at the same time, really. They would be forming at near enough the same time and also continue to drift near to each other. Although with given that they're probably forming from the same cloud, they would be close together to begin with. They would be forming essentially at roughly the same time. Like, it is incredibly uncommon for anything in space to ever meet anything else in space that wasn't part of its system originally. There's just too much space between everything. So, yeah, they would just form at roughly the same time.
Yeah, what like Champ is saying. Like, at the end of the day, two objects in space will have a gravitational effect on each other, and but it's only really interesting to like categorize them as different if they're, I guess, if they're like similar, because then their central point that they're spinning around isn't like just located in one, so you can't just generalize that as it's spinning around, you know? Yeah, that makes sense.
How would seasons be like if Earth was in a binary star system? Depends where it is. If it's orbiting both of the stars, no different. And by orbiting both, I mean in the central diagram of what Redox is drawn, where it's orbiting the central point of the two. No different, although you would have probably larger than normal fluctuations in temperature, depending on how close you were to the larger star of the two compared to the other one. Say you're on the top right side of the diagram that's drawn, which is the side with the smaller star, you'd probably be experiencing lower temperatures than if you were on the other side. If you were orbiting just one of the stars, first of all, there would have to be quite the large gap between those two stars for that to be stable, but that is entirely plausible to happen. What you would have is probably more fluctuation in temperature on an annual basis, depending because when you're on the far side of the central orbit, you would have you essentially would be receiving a lot less light from the second star than you would the one that you're orbiting itself. So you would have times where on that side you have a lower temperature than normal, on the other side you would have a higher temperature than average. Seasons are only the result of the Earth being tilted, though, and that's a very rare occurrence. The Earth is tilted just like me, like most planets don't have seasons. We're pretty unique in that regard. But yeah. How does having multiple suns in a solar system affect the habitable zone of said systems? Well, what we know of habitable zone is entirely based on temperature, so you just need to extend that out. How far away from those two stars rather than one would you need to be to get the temperature required to be in that habitable zone? So it would affect it. You would have to be further away than if you were around just one star of that mass, but you would probably have to be closer than if you were around one star with the combined mass of both of those stars, because the energy emitted is square of mass in some kind of way. So two stars of the same mass give out less energy than one star of their combined mass. It's the whole 2A versus A squared situation. I should have said X, but you know what I mean. How would planets orbit around? Oh, we've drawn that. Various possible ways. Of one way or another.
Also had a stroke in chat.
Have you ever tried
hot binding the fragment links and superseding the binary?
Sag.
I have no idea.
I think it's from Doctor Who.
Most things Chef says are, to be fair.
And by that I mean I'm pretty certain it's from Doctor Who.
Binary. I'm basically J, but with Doctor Who. True. They would orbit like this.
Yeah, so there you go. We've covered it.
True wise. True. Yeah, we've covered it. That was an interesting one. I enjoyed it because I got to draw
Yeah,
little circles.
I enjoyed it because I
Which
didn't have to Google things.
sequently also looks a lot like the Doctor Who Time Lord uniform. Or its neck watching wild gesture. Anyway, I think we're done.
Yeah, we did it.
I can't believe we done did it. We
We
done
did
did
it.
it. We've done every science question in the entire world.
Yep.
There's no more
God.
science left.
Amazing how many times we finished science.
Done it all. Crazy, isn't it? Who would have expected that? Would have expected.
Mm.
An entire science was. Should we find a place to go?
We shall.
Da-da.
We shall. Bam.
Da-da.
So many
Time to
places.
move on to pseudoscience. I feel like most of what we do is pseudoscience.
Mm. What is going on in the Dread Hunger lobby right now?
Why are they just standing there?
Questioning the game. There's another bear.
I think Pedguin's teaching a bunch of noobs.
No, I
what
think
to
they're
do.
having a race.
Oh, maybe.
I want to raid there because I'm going to watch it, and it makes sense to do that. I'm ready for my stealth raid anyway. Oops.
Let's do it. Why not?
Bam. No one will see this.
Don't forget to celebrate 420. True. You only have. It's actually 24 champs, so that doesn't work anywhere except in the US.
Don't believe it. Don't believe it. Oh, I've just closed your stream.
I think
so
actually what they're doing is they're fighting the bear by running on the ice.
No, I think they're going for a race.
No, because he's getting the bear anyway. It might be a race though.
I swear they're racing to the lighthouse, but how would I know? How would I know?
I don't really know what they're doing. Anyway,
No.
America's the entire world. True, that is what most aliens in cinema think.
Yeah. Why wouldn't they? Bam.
Not in Doctor Who though. According to Doctor Who, the UK is the entire world. You rated? Have you gone?
No. I am ready to go. Anytime now. Like, sooner the better. I can have something.
Mine's about to go. Alright. I'll be back at some point, I don't know, not tomorrow, but maybe another time. Go follow Wheat. If you're not already following Wheat, what's wrong with you? The raid's gonna go, so I don't have time, but bye.
Bye.